1 month into the 2026 legislative session, state lawmakers are up against a slew of issues, from another $1 billion budget deficit.
I'm very proud of what we've done as well for the economy.
To the state's energy crisis.
We replaced common sense energy policy with mandates that sound good in press releases, but hit families in their wallets every single month.
And the controversial push for a mid-cycle congressional redistricting. Is an 8-0 map for Maryland representative of the state? Is that fair?
Well, you go back to the fair question, right? I can't talk about what's fair. I can talk about what is constitutional.
I'm going in depth on the ongoing debates in Annapolis and how Maryland families could be impacted. Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of Fox 45 News In Depth. I'm Mikenzie Frost. We're a month into this year's legislative session, and lawmakers have a lot left to tackle before sine die. Right now, Governor Wes Moore is facing backlash about multiple state audits which found repeated problems within state agencies. One audit of the State Highway Administration found the SHA knowingly charged $360 million in unauthorized expenses to federal projects. Another audit showed the state missed a chance to recover $760 million in overpaid unemployment benefits. And an audit of the Department of Human Services Social Services Administration revealed gaps in protections for foster care children, including a lack of background checks for providers, which led to some foster kids living at the same addresses as registered sex offenders.
We're doing the auditing. When are we doing the fixing?
Auditors and leaders with the Department of Human Services briefed lawmakers Thursday about the current state of the foster care system. It was clear people are frustrated with repeat findings in the audit, showing some of the same problems year after year. While some lawmakers raised questions about the financial cost to Marylanders of those audit findings, given the fact that federal funding has been missed and the state could be liable for some of the problems, auditors highlighted the human toll of the failures.
I think cost is one small factor. I think ultimately what we're dealing with here is lives. And we're not dealing with, each one of these is a story, as Mike presented. We're dealing with the most troubled youths in the state. So, cost obviously is significant, but and that's why we talk about the response time to this and going 3 audits in a row and oversight. Money is important. Obviously, the state can't afford to have any of the litigation that you just referenced. I think, but more importantly, every day that goes by is a day that one of these children may not be getting the services that they need. To put a price tag on what the impact would be, I think, would just be looking at one aspect of the potential impact of the findings.
I absolutely agree with you on that. We're dealing with people's lives here, and we're also dealing with a budget, that's why we're here, that everyone in the state of Maryland pours into, which would then be subject to the potential exposure that's created here.
Lawmakers raised serious questions about the speed in which DHS says it's moving to implement change, and some were not thrilled with the fact that DHS Secretary Rafael Lopez wasn't there during the briefing.
Where is the secretary today?
The secretary is out due to illness today.
After appearing in front of us yesterday. Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
So, Mr. Secretary, who's not here again, I'm disappointed. But my disappointment may have to move into policy. But do we really need it? Because the agency is lacking to move. I don't know. But there seems to be a lack of urgency, I'll say again.
Delegate Nino Mangione brought up the death of 16-year-old Kanai Ward. Ward was in foster care and died while she was in a Baltimore City hotel and was supposed to be under the supervision of a one-to-one provider. DHS cut ties with that provider after Ward's death, which was Fenwick Behavioral Services. Ward's death was later ruled a suicide. But Mangione noted Ward had a history of mental health concerns and questioned why she was placed in a hotel in the first place, especially since DHS ended hotel placements after Ward's death.
After the fact, obviously, we're all sympathetic in the fact that it was a tragedy, but after the fact, when we've known about this for years, and you take immediate actions, to me says the immediate actions could have and should have been taken before this. Well, if we were able to do it after the fact, find option or implement something where she's immediately supposed to be placed into a certain facility that can handle her needs, it seems to me that it's a real issue that it wasn't done beforehand with somebody with documented history of mental health and suicidal attempts and so on.
Our colleagues have conducted that after-action report. Hindsight is clearly always better. We have taken steps to end placements with that one-to-one provider. And at the end of the day, all we can do is try to correct the mistakes that we've made and do better.
Maryland State Delegate Mike Griffith, who spent much of his own teen years in foster care, has introduced what he calls Kania's Law. The bill would prohibit placing foster care children in hotels for more than a week without DHS review and authorization. It would also require training, licensing, and criminal background checks for DHS providers. Griffith previously told FOX45 News he's glad DHS is no longer housing children in hotels, but he still wants to see more protections put in place.
The fact that we even have to have a law to put these simple procedures in place, simple accountability, and simple safety measures that every Marylander expected DHS to have in place and didn't. So this has proven we can't take simple things for granted, like background checks, not putting children with sexual predators, not putting kids that are wards of the state into homeless shelters. It's unbelievable. We have to do this, but we got to make sure this doesn't happen again.
The House Judiciary Committee will hold a hearing on Kania's Law on February 26th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Delegate Griffith is also introducing two pieces of legislation to streamline reportable offenses and broaden the amount of information schools are told about students with criminal background checks. House Minority Leader Jason Buckle says those proposals would help keep students safe in schools. But according to Buckle, during a recent hearing on one of those bills, the Office of Public Defender tried to shoot it down.
I certainly think that if a student shows up at a school and they have a charge or a conviction or they're under supervision for that type of a situation, the school should know about that because there's someone who maybe shouldn't be exposed to other kids or should be very closely monitored for that. The Office of the Public Defender said, oh no, shouldn't find out about that. When you have that kind of, frankly, asinine thinking, it's real hard to make a difference here.
Lawmakers are also debating a youth charging reform act, which would end automatically charging juvenile suspects as adults for certain violent crimes. The House Judiciary Committee held a hearing about the proposal Thursday. All 24 of Maryland's state's attorneys opposed the bill, and Montgomery County State's Attorney John McCarthy spoke out about it after a 16-year-old was arrested in his county and charged as an adult for shooting a classmate at school.
I will tell you, I think there is a public safety issue when the constellation of services we have and the length of time that a child receives services doesn't last long enough. If you're going to put more violent offenders in a juvenile court, that give us some assurances that they're receiving the same types of treatment for an appreciable period of time so that we can have some real hope that when the child comes back into the community, we as the community can be safe.
The Legislative Black Caucus supports the Youth Charging Reform Act, so I asked them about it ahead of the House Judiciary Committee's hearing. They say even though state's attorneys are against it, it's found support among other state leaders, arguing it's a common-sense fix for the juvenile justice system.
Yes, the state's attorneys are opposed. However, the Office of Public Defender is not opposed. The Department of Juvenile Services is not opposed.
Just objectively speaking, looking at the money and the efficiency and I don't understand it. It's maddening to me. And so if you're a technocrat, you like this bill. If you're someone that's into the racial justice piece, you've got both of them here. We're not doing this right. We should fix this.
Juvenile issues, far from the only ones lawmakers are tackling this session. Democrats in both the House and the Senate are proposing legislation to enforce fines on Maryland drivers with out-of-state vehicle registration. Senate Bill 111 would give people with improper registration 60 days to register in Maryland. After that, they would be fined $7 per day for up to 60 days until the vehicle is properly registered. The legislation would largely impact cars registered in Virginia, which lawmakers argue is costing Maryland money and making the roads less safe.
It affects us. It affects us because we have to make it up some way. We have to make it up. We have to make that money up. When we lose revenue, we have to find a way of making the money up.
In the last hearing on the bill last month, Senator Corey McCray says the MVA has told him they're supportive of the bill with some changes. Some states' attorneys have concerns as well with how the measure would be enforced. Right now, the bill puts it in their office, and they say that should not be the case.
I don't think it's something that we should be involved in, to simply file an in rem proceeding against the car to have the owner properly registered.
Prosecutors argue these cases should go to an attorney general assigned to the administration or a county attorney who has more experience in filing civil proceedings. Right now, the bill is still in committee with both the House and the Senate. Then there's the issue of mid-cycle redistricting. The proposed congressional map would eliminate Maryland's Republican representation in Congress, according to some. It passed the House earlier this month, but has stalled in the Senate. Senate President Bill Ferguson says he would not bring it to a vote, calling the map and the process of creating it potentially unconstitutional. Ferguson is facing mounting pressure to bring it to a vote. Governor Wes Moore brought it up during his State of the State address. The governor did not mention Ferguson by name, but did put the pressure on the chamber.
No, I know there is disagreement right now between the House and members of the Senate. So my ask is simple. Do not let the democratic process die in the free state. Debate it, discuss it, make adjustments if necessary, and put it to a vote.
Right now, there doesn't seem to be much discontent among Senate Democrats when it comes to redistricting. However, Senator Arthur Ellis has been outspoken in what he calls this plan and calling for it to be put on the floor for a vote. He says if Republicans can redraw the maps in red states to result in more Republican seats in Congress, Democrats should do the same in Maryland. He has some sharp criticism for the Senate president.
My charge is no one single man have that power in a democracy. That is dictatorship. That's Cuba. That's Castro.
Do you think Republicans in Maryland deserve to have a member in Congress from their party representing them?
That's a good question. They will have, and now even if you don't live on the Eastern Shore, they have representatives. Like my congressman, Steny Hoyer, who is retiring. When you are elected, you represent everyone, so no one will remain unrepresented, okay? Everyone will be represented, whoever is elected to Congress. I strongly believe that.
Is an 8-0 map for Maryland representative of this state? Is that fair?
Well, you go back to the fair question, right? I can't talk about what's fair. I can talk about what is constitutional. And the Supreme Court says it is constitutional. You can do it.
Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Exactly. And we need that debate here in the Senate of Maryland.
Earlier this month, I asked the Senate president about the pressure that he's been facing, as well as other Democrats in the chamber, and whether he would give in. Given the pressure, though, that we continue to see from the House, the governor's office, Democrats across the board, why not just put it up on the floor for a vote to put this to bed?
Look, at the end of the day, this Sunday I was at the Federal Hill South Chili Cook-Off, right? There were 200 people out for a chili cook-off. I had one person bring up redistricting as being concerned, and about 25 say, that's a really bad idea. Thank you for not focusing time on it. That's what the Senate is going to be focused on, is the things that our constituents are talking about, which is their concern about prices, their ability to live in Maryland without being priced out. That's what our obligation is right now, and that's where we're going to spend our time.
Republicans are staunchly against redistricting. They have said if the map does pass the Senate, they will sue. Senate Minority Leader Steve Hershey calling out the governor for the pressure he's putting on Senate Democrats.
I've never seen an individual pursue failure so deliberately as this governor is doing. Obviously, he knows it's not going to pass in the Senate, but he's looking to be vindictive. He's looking to find the common sense Democrats that are going to vote against that, and that's not what Marylanders want to see. This is an issue that's not important to all of Maryland's, but obviously it's important to this governor.
Fox 45 News has covered the redistricting debate extensively, and we will continue to follow it throughout the rest of this legislative session. You can follow along both on air and on the Fox 45 News app. Still to come, lawmakers are also working to address the state's energy crisis, what's on the table, and what it means for ratepayers.
Listen, you're all stars, right? And so you understand how to turn minimal ingredients into a next-level dish.
The most intense season of Next Level Chef is here.
I did not come to play.
And the competition is more chaotic than ever.
That's crazy.
On Fox 45.
Only one TV station is bold enough to ask the tough questions.
How is it really transparent if that's how this process is played out?
Fox 45 News.
Baltimore and Bel Air. Get ready for some revolutionary savings at the Bob Bell Chevy President's Day sale. Save up to $11,000 on a new Silverado from Baltimore's #1 selling Silverado dealer. But these historic deals won't last long. Come see us today.
Hey Maryland, our power bills are out of control. Private power plant companies that control our power supply are failing to meet demand. And when there's a shortage, prices go up. Maryland's public utilities can be a part of the solution, adding competition with public oversight to help keep costs under control. But current rules stand in the way. The system is broken. It's time to change the rules and put customers first.
If your child has moderate to severe eczema, they can stay ahead of it with Dupixent for clearer skin and noticeably less itch. Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor of new or worsening eye problems like eye pain or vision changes, skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Ask your child's doctor about Dupixent, approved to treat kids as young as 6 months.
It's our President's Day mattress and furniture event at Boscov's. Our lowest prices of the season. Take an extra 20% off our lowest sale prices on almost all mattresses. Sealy Queen mattresses starting at $399. We carry all the top brands, plus free delivery on mattress purchases $7.99 and up. Every sofa, every sectional, every recliner is on sale now. Save $1,000 on this Tatum sectional and incredible value at $2499.99. Plus free delivery. Hurry in for our President's Day event at all Boscov's.
Baltimore and Bel Air. Get ready for some revolutionary savings at the Bob Bell Chevy President's Day sale. Save on the hot new Chevy Trax as low as $24,900 and no payments for 120 days. But these historic deals won't last long. Come see us today.
Lawmakers are also focusing on a slew of energy bills this session. So far, House Bill 1, which would regulate rate hikes for utility companies, has passed the House and now goes on to the Senate. With massive energy bills and serious affordability concerns, lawmakers are trying to find a way to bring down costs and generate more energy in the state. Fox 45's Jessica Babb has been following all of the energy bills up for debate. Jessica, what's moving forward so far?
Well, it is still early in the session, but House Bill 1 is one bill already gaining some traction. And like you mentioned, it's a bill that prevents investor-owned utility companies like BGE from using ratepayer funds to cover salaries and compensation over about $250,000. Now, based on the bill, the utility could still pay their employees whatever they want, but only a certain amount can be recouped using money from customers. Critics like BGE have pushed back on this bill, saying it would make it hard to attract employees and could also include incentives like 401k matches. It's passed in the House and is moving forward to the Senate, but right now it's not clear how much relief this could actually provide.
Jessica, what other bills are being debated this session when it comes to energy and potentially generation?
So, Mikenzie, there is a lot of them, like the Affordable Solar Act, which could help expand solar in the state and would establish a competitive procurement process. There's also a bill to pull the state out of the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, something some Republicans argue could save ratepayers money. Now, Governor Wes Moore has also announced his legislation, which includes more funding for clean energy projects, improved infrastructure, and another $40 energy rebate. Some Republicans, on the other hand, are also pushing to roll back the Climate Solutions Now Act and are wanting to get rid of the Empower charge on your energy bill. Other bills that have been proposed or are expected to be proposed are related to transmission lines, eminent domain, protecting farmland, data centers, and making sure they're doing their part to provide power, restructuring the state's electric utilities, adding more competition, studying the possibility of leaving the PJM region, and making sure residents are fully aware of possible rate increases and proceedings at the Public Service Commission. And of course, there is still a lot of debate left to happen on this energy topic, so it's not clear yet which of these bills will end up being successful. Mikenzie?
All right, Jessica, thank you so much. No one knows this better than you, so keep us updated. Over the next 2 months, eyes in Annapolis will turn to the budget. Right now, the state is facing a $1.4 billion shortfall. Lawmakers will have to discuss where cuts can be made and whether Marylanders will see any increased fees. Last year, the General Assembly passed a $1.6 billion in tax and fee increases. That included increased vehicle registrations, a new tire tax, snack tax, and a 3% tech tax. Republicans will be looking for specific, direct ways to help Marylanders offset the financial burden. I pressed the House Speaker about that issue. Numerous states of the state addresses from the governor, and the state of Maryland isn't really seeing improvements in terms of affordability and cost of living for Marylanders. What are you looking to hear from him tomorrow?
First, I would say that with all due respect to my colleagues who are my friends, I would say that they're wrong. This is the end of a 4-year term. And if you look back at what we have done, we've done a lot for the people in Maryland. I'm very proud of what we've done as well for the economy, a lot of the tax revisions and laws we passed for the environment.
I spoke with political analyst John Deeney about what we have seen from the General Assembly so far and what to expect in the weeks ahead.
It's kind of dumb, in my opinion, to make that the number one thing you're going after when the Senate president has made it very clear we're not touching that one. I think a little bit of it is to get that national attention. You know, we talk about people looking to get clicks and likes. Well, the Sunday talk show is your big click and your big like. And I think that he can use that. Okay, he's going to talk for a couple minutes about that on a Sunday show, but it gives him a chance to look possibly presidential to people.
And, you know, the big one that the governor continues to talk about, and he mentioned this in the State of the State, was the rebates for people. But the rebates are one time, and last year they were $40. Is that really the type of energy policy and relief that people are actually looking for, or should there be a larger conversation?
Last year's $40 check was a nice, what people thought, one-time deal. It's just a sugar high. They actually need to have something called energy policy. Commitments to new plants, commitments to nuclear power would be a good start. Maryland is an energy-dependent state, not energy independent, and that's a huge problem.
The state's attorney's office across the state, they're all against this plan to change how young people are charged. There's the concerns about reportable offenses with kids in schools wearing ankle monitors. Is juvenile crime kind of taking a back seat, do you think, to some of these other national issues? And if so, is that a good thing?
Juvenile crime's taking a back issue because, unfortunately, people like Ivan Bates have been successful. We've seen the crime rate go down. And yes, a lot of the horrific crimes we've been hearing is juvenile justice related. The problem is, even the governor addressed it in the State of the State. The crime rate has gone down. That's a good thing. But the problem is, because it's gone down, it's gone to the back of the stove.
Looking at the issues with the audits, I mean, we have audit after audit after audit showing significant failures within the state. I know the governor has come out and tasked his cabinet secretaries with a review of the audit process and how they handle repeat findings, but none of that was brought up in the State of the State address, and the governor also did not talk about foster care children in the State of the State. Do you think that was a missed opportunity, or is this something that made a lot of headlines but will just get forgotten about?
It's a re-election year, and you don't look for the rake to step on. And those types of things are not something you want to discuss. The audit situation, this could be given a good public relations fix by asking and creating the Office of Inspector General for the state. And the thing is, if you have an auditor, they're only looking at certain things. Inspector Generals are there to design to root out certain problems. That's why also dealing with this problem regarding foster kids and getting that system cleared up would help. Already you've seen, you know, we talked about juvenile justice going on the back burner. It got on the back burner the day they got rid of Vincent Chiralde. He needs an action to take so people are reassured on the issue of foster care of kids and do something strong to show that I'm here to fix this problem.
Do you think that that action should be or would be replacing Secretary Lopez at DHS?
I think because of his history of being slow about replacing people, I think right now they want to legislatively do it and find some fixes there. Because when you replace somebody, it's almost like raising your hand saying, I made a mistake.
This week, we asked what you want to see the General Assembly prioritize this legislative session. We'll take a look at some of your responses when we come back.
Here's tonight's primetime lineup on Fox 45. Brought to you locally by your McDonald's owner-operators.
Need a new mattress but confused by all the choices? At Mattress Firm, we make it easy. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a perfect mattress. And right now, save up to $700. Mattress Firm, we make sleep easy.
Dupixent continuously works to help prevent asthma attacks. So game days are better. Girls' days are better. Even Mondays are better. Dupixent's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. It's not for sudden breathing problems. Some people felt their asthma symptoms improve in as little as 3 days. Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor right away if signs of inflamed blood vessels like rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, brown or dark-colored urine, tingling or numbness in limbs. Tell your doctor of new or worsening skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
This President's Day, you can wait for a sale price, or you can get the best price every day at Bob's.
And more of what you love for hundreds less than the competition.
I cannot tell a lie. Bob's is the obvious choice.
Oh my Bob! Town Appliance in Owings Mills is your destination for great prices and modern luxury. So whether you're looking for one appliance or an entire remodel, our family-owned store will help you find the performance you need and the style you deserve. Electrolux and Frigidaire deliver efficient, stylish appliances with advanced technology and user-friendly performance. With decades of experience, we have small-town courtesy with big city know-how. Come to our showroom in Owings Mills or visit townappliance.com.
Is your mattress giving you aches and pains? At Mattress Firm, our sleep experts can match you with a more supportive mattress, like Sealy Posturepedic, with targeted support to help relieve those nagging aches. And right now, get a king bed for a queen price. Mattress Firm, we make sleep easy.
Lawmakers are also considering a number of immigration-related bills this legislative session. One of those proposals would ban the 287G program and end local law enforcement's involvement in a federal immigration enforcement program currently in place in 8 Maryland counties. Senate Bill 245 now heading to the governor's desk with the cross file in the House as well, with critics urging him to veto it.
Unfortunately, we have too many legislators that are on the wrong side of the fence. They want to support the criminals and not the law-abiding citizens.
Now this week we asked, what do you want to see the General Assembly focus on this legislative session? Let's take a look at what some of you had to say. We have John saying BGE, taxes, fees, toll exemptions. Robert says lowering taxes, work to reduce energy costs, especially electricity, reduce the state spending, Frank, the deficit and energy bills, equal voting districts, reduce taxes, reduced fees, according to Mabry. And one more, Mark says make our community safer for everyone to enjoy. All right, that's it for this week's edition of Fox 45 News in Depth. I'm Mikenzie Frost. Hey, I'm Mikenzie Frost. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Check out Fox Baltimore on all of our social media pages for more videos just like this.